Hey guys, Telegram Sam here. If you don't already know, I have an Instagram. It's telegram_Sam_vinyl. So if you're on Instagram, check me out on there. Sorry if I sound a bit rough. I just woke up feeling like absolute crap this morning. So I just have like a really bad sore throat and like stuffy nose, and it's the time of the season for being sick. So I guess I'm getting it first thing in October. But yeah, recent vinyl pickups review where I show you guys the music and records I have gotten and listened to these last 2 weeks. So right after I filmed my last recent vinyl pickups, I went and hanged out with some of my old coworkers. We usually get together about once every few months and go antiquing together because the three of us are really into old stuff. So we ended up going to this new one that I guess had only been open for a couple months. I think it's called the Memory Den. But it's a huge old warehouse, and it's 2 stories. And I think we got there a couple hours before they were supposed to close, and just in the couple hours we were there, we only got through the first floor and half of the second floor. We didn't even see everything before they had to close. And of course, I found like 30 records there, and they're all really well priced, in surprisingly good condition considering most of this stuff is from the 60s and 70s. Yeah, you'll see. Like the first record I'm going to show, I always see, but they're always in super rough shape. This is Heavy by Iron Butterfly. This originally came out in 1968, and this is a 1969 US press. Rock, Psych, Prog. This was Iron Butterfly's debut album. 3 of the 5 members would end up leaving the band shortly after this record was released. I just love that cover. Such a cool cover. Yeah, this is the one they did before Ega de Vida. Yeah, I've been looking for this record for a really long time. They're pretty cheap, usually like $5 to $10, but they're always beat up, both the cover and the record. And this one, both the cover is like near mint and the record's like near mint. Yeah, just the yellow Atco label. Next up, some more Iron Butterfly. This is a Ball by Iron Butterfly. This originally came out in 1969. This is original US press. Psych, Rock. This is their 3rd studio album, the one after Inagada de Vida. This one, to me, is more melodic, a little bit more straightforward. Rock, pop, psych. To me, I would say out of all of Iron Butterfly's early work, this is probably my favorite album from them, including Ega de Vida. I feel like Ega de Vida is an okay album. I think it's just mainly known for the B track just being the song in Ega de Vida, and obviously that's such a groundbreaking, important song. And Psych, Rock. But I think as an entire album, to me, this one's just a little bit more well-rounded. And I do love a lot of the songs on here, so. And this one came on Atco label as well. This one's, I think, is like one of the newer albums in this collection. By newer, I mean like it's 30 years old. But this is Neurotica by Red Cross. This is an original 1987 US press. Alternative rock, indie. I've been wanting something from Red Cross for a really long time. This is their 2nd full-length record, and this was produced by Tommy Ramone. Yeah, I mainly know about Red Cross because Stephen McDonald currently plays bass in the Melvins, and yeah, just a huge. I think he was in Off for their first couple of EPs and singles before he kind of ditched and joined the Melvins. But yeah, really killer, influential, especially to the grunge scene. You can definitely hear the early beginnings of grunge on here. But yeah, super killer album. Been wanting to get for a while. This one just came on the Big Time label. I think this label shortly folded after this Red Cross album came out. So they were labelless for a while. Next up, one I kind of just took a gamble on. I've never heard of this band or heard this music, but this is the Sopwith Camel by Sopwith Camel. This is a 1967 US press. Pop, rock, psych, first of the only 2 albums they released, and they were the second San Francisco band to ever be signed to a major label and the first to have a top 40 hit. So they're very sort of door kicking for the whole San Francisco psych rock scene. I don't know, I don't remember much from this record. I feel like it's kind of like blah. I mean, compared to the stuff that would later come out, like Grateful Dead, Big Brother and the Holding Company, Jefferson Airplane, I feel like this one just kind of is meh compared to all of those. So I don't know if this will stay in the collection. I might need to give it a few more listens, but I was kind of unimpressed by it on first impressions. And this one came on the old school Kama Sutra label. Super tight. Another one I have been wanting for a really long time, but they're always just so beat up. This is a group called Smith by Smith. Original 1969 US press. Psych Rock Blues. First of only 2 albums they released. This album is made up consistently of covers. The most well-known one on here is their version of Baby It's You. I love that version. Probably the best version of that song in my opinion. Even better than the Beatles version. That's actually how I was introduced to that band, because Quentin Tarantino used that song in his movie Death Proof, and I fell in love with it and dived into the band's work, and I really dig them. Gail McCormick is such a killer singer. She's like a mix of Bobby Gentry and Janis Joplin. She's a phenomenal singer. I think she had a little bit of a solo career after Smith disbanded, but I think she retired from music in the late 70s, which is such a shame because she has such a powerhouse voice. And this one's just on the ABC Dunhill label. Next up, another one that I see all the time, but again, it's just usually always beat up. This is Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs by Derek and the Dominos. This originally came out in 1970, and this is a 1974 US press. Blues rock, the only studio album Derek and the Dominos ever released. This was Eric Clapton's sort of side project after he gained fame from Cream and then Blind Faith. He was like, I want to do something else. So he did this with a lot of other session musicians that he met while he was working on his friend George Harrison's album All Things Must Pass. And that's also when his infatuation with George Harrison's wife at the time, Pattie Boyd, sort of festered. And that's essentially what this album is about, is sort of the unrequited love at the time that he had for Pattie Boyd. Obviously, they would end up getting married in the later 70s. I think they were only together for like 10 years before his alcoholism drove Pattie Boyd to divorce him. But yes, I think this is one of Eric Clapton's, outside of Cream, I think this is one of Eric Clapton's greatest things he ever did. Just such an epic album. It's a double album. Obviously, you have a song Layla on here. He also does a great cover of Lil Wayne. And Dwayne Allman also played lead guitar and slide guitar on 11 of the 14 tracks that are on here. So it's just such a great killer album. And this one's just on the Red Polydor album, or label. Next up, one I kind of, again, just took a chance on. This is Peace of Mind by The Happenings. This is the original 1969 US press. Psych Rock Blues. This was their 4th studio album. The Happenings were mainly known for doing like cover songs of pop, psych, folk. That was popular during the early mid 60s. But this was actually one of the only album, or one of the only few albums they did that was mainly consisted of original songs. And God, this album's killer. This is a killer album. Sort of a mix of Strawberry Alarm Clock with like these Beach Boys harmonies, and also the sort of country rock thing of like Buffalo Springfield. It's really good. Out of all the things I would recommend in this video, I think this is the one to check out. Especially because I wasn't really familiar with them before I saw this. But yeah, I guess this used to just be a black sphere, but you could punch it out and it would you would see this mosaic in the background. But yeah, this is just really, really stellar, really awesome music, really cool. And I don't think I've ever seen this label before. This is the Jubilee label. Almost kind of looks like the Josie label, if you're familiar with the meters. Next up, we're going back to the 80s. This is a Vacation by the Go-Go's. This is original 1982 U.S. press, pop, punk, rock, second studio album from them, and the single Vacation was is thought to believe to be the first single released on a cassette tape, which is really cool. But yeah, I've been meaning to get into the Go-Go's, especially as I've been reading more into the LA punk scene, and Belinda Carlisle, Jane Wielden, and pretty much everyone in the Go-Go's was a really big part of that scene. So yeah, I just been meaning to get them, and this was like $2, so of course I got it. And this one just came on custom IRS label. And last but not least, at least this first half of stuff I got from the antique store. I'm going to show the second half in my next recent vinyl pickups video. But this is Don't Tell a Soul by The Replacements. This is an original 1989 US press, indie rock, power pop. I've been dying to get some replacements, and yeah, originals of their albums, especially their earlier albums, are pretty expensive, and they're just in general really hard to find, so I was excited to find this. Their sixth studio album, and the first album to feature Bob Slim Dunlap, who replaced the founding guitarist Bob Stinson. But yeah, it's just great placements, you know. I love Paul Westerberg's voice. I think that's how you say his name. Westernberg. I love his voice. It's so unique and, you know, very influential to indie alternative rock, and started continuing Big Star's legacy of power pop. Definitely hear the influence of Big Star in their music. But yeah, have been dying to get their stuff. Obviously, Let Be is the album to have, but I'm glad to just have something from them so far. So, yeah, that's the last of the first half of stuff I have to show you from the big antique store haul I got. But yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.